So one of the things I thought we would do is rather than focus in this whole session on solely about us and what we provide, et cetera, we think it's important to maybe share some of the things we've learned that may help you with some of your efforts. These are things that we've learned in the 22 plus years. One of the things we've learned, and we're now part of the Corporate Learning Network, and you guys, I know some of you are familiar with them, have attended some of their their get-togethers, et cetera. And their role is to get CLOs from across the globe to discuss, all types of L&D issues. And we're actually on the advisory board there. So what we have kind of really started to figure out with executives is, of course, you must understand the business goals that your company has. And then you have to develop learning strategies to support those business goals. This isn't anything that you don't know. And then you got to try to figure out how to measure results. A little more challenging, kind of the holy grail of training. But what we're finding as we talk with these folks is that at your level, at an executive level, you're assuming that as that trickles down and actually gets implemented, that instructional design will be highly effective. And in some cases, it isn't. And what we've discovered is that a lot of organizations, both within life sciences and outside of life sciences, use their subject matter experts to design. Now, subject matter experts are absolutely critical to a good design because they know the content, what's most important, what's hard to learn. But many of those SMEs may not have any knowledge or experience in actually designing effective learning, especially when you look at all the different technologies and assets, whether it's classroom, performance support tools, e-learning modules, whatever that might be. Although they have the content knowledge, they may not, in fact, have the design knowledge. And so all your strategy as it trickles down may not be as effective because of that. Another thing that we're finding throughout the industry, and we've seen this a lot, and you've seen it, we've worked with some major life sciences and medical device companies. And one thing that we see, especially nowadays, is a tendency to let technology drive the training, right? So you select the technology before identifying the learning needs. Hey, let's do VR, let's do AR. We got to use AI without it being based on what the actual learning needs are. There's a wow factor there. We did some work with a medical device company on a new robot, training surgeons, surgical staff, and commercial education as well. And they wanted to use VR, which we did. And we, in this example, got with the physicians, the surgeons, and they said, it's cool, but we're not going to spend much time under a hood doing that. So there is this wow factor that you got to be aware of, and it can be quite expensive. And most importantly, selecting the technology first, it may not actually meet your learning needs. And we see this a lot. And when we talk to these CLOs, they feel compelled to implement some of these technologies. We're not saying don't do it. We're saying don't let the technology drive it, but rather have the design drive it. And what we mean by that is first identify the learning needs required to support your business strategy. Then design a blended learning approach based on those identified needs. Then finally, choose the associated technologies required based on that blended design approach. And again, some of you may be facing some of these issues, and we really find that the design-driven approach is going to give you more effectiveness, you won't waste money, and you have a better chance of meeting your ultimate business needs. So hopefully that was somewhat helpful.